Hello, welcome to Diane's Corner. And you are going to have to bear with me as I fumble through this because, if you can tell by the title, it is the first episode of my corner. So, welcome to this week's episode of Diane's Corner. We're going to be talking about what you can do to improve the relationships that you have in your life, especially the meaningful ones and the ones that you spend the most time with. Because I think this is a very important topic because we are social animals and and there's only so many good ideas that one person can have. It's like when we get a bunch of people's different good ideas, we could come together and collaborate and make life so much better and more meaningful, right? So I just want to get on the same page as you. I want to make sure that you are the kind of person who knows that they have the power to change things outside of them. For example, the environment around them, like whether it's putting a ginormous vase in the corner of the room or mounting the TV. That was so cool when I saw the TV up on the wall. But also, there's the environment on your phone, like from your news feed. Are you unfollowing people that you really don't care to hear about, or your calendar? And so there's a lot of things that you can affect in the world around you. And if you believe that you have the agency to do so, then you're in the right place. And also, if you want to improve your relationships, everyone is living in their own world. And I mean, it would be so great if everyone could live in my world, Diane's world. Everyone, I think, would be having a lot more fun. But everyone lives in their own world. And so that creates misunderstandings, miscommunication, and things like that. So, yeah, relationships can sometimes bring out the really ugly side of us. You know, when people are judging you or nagging at you or annoying you or irritating you, like we have different opinions about how to go about things, different preferences. So, you'll have to pardon me when I look down at my notes, which are right here. That's something that I will be doing throughout this session. Hello and welcome. This is Diane's Corner, and we're going to be talking about what we can do to improve our relationships. So I think this is a really important topic because relationships really make life better. I mean, there's only so many good ideas that are in my head. And I want to hear what other people's good ideas are. And it could really improve the quality of life. I always get surprised by what people bring to the table. And I think relationships really make life meaningful. So I want to support you in your endeavors to improve the relationships that are in your life. I think that we need a lot more love and understanding in this world right now. And oh, hey Pat, thanks. I'm checking out the chat. So feel free to chat. There's no delay. I will be seeing it. And so once again, we're going to be talking about how to improve your relationships. There's some things that we're going to be talking about today that you can actually practice on yourself before you go out and try to improve the relationships with other people. Because, I mean, what relationship is more important than the relationship that you have with yourself? So you can practice these skills and ideas on yourself, and that inevitably will bleed out to the people around you or to the relationships that you have. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to take lots of practice, observation, self-inhibition, and reflection. You're going to be required to do a lot of pausing and breathing, especially in real time when it comes down to the moment where somebody's nagging at you, or you have to ask somebody something 5 times before they even lift their head to see what's going on. The tough parts of relationships, those are the parts where you're going to be wanting to do a lot of pausing and breathing. Let's do that now. So, if you can, take a deep inhale and let it out with a big sigh. I'm doing it with you. Yeah, everything is going to be okay. Sometimes it gets uncomfortable, and we're going to be talking about that later. So, yeah, the MVP of your own life, that's you, the story of your life. You're going to change what's on the inside naturally. It's going to show out outside. And I will be looking at my notes. They're right down here. So pardon me if I keep looking at them. And okay, so we can just dive in because you saw most of the introduction in the practice run of Diane's Corner. And oh, another thing is that if you are here, then I just want to say thank you and honor you for being here, because it's, I think, the intention to improve the relationships around you. If you have that, then that's a really decent thing. And the people around you will be happy about it. Or they will think it's really weird what's happening. Okay, so the first idea that you will have to absorb and really understand is that there's no good or bad emotion. So emotions are signals from the soul that something is important, right? And emotions, there are high vibration emotions and there are low vibration emotions. And people tend to think that low vibration emotions are bad emotions, like anger, regret, despair, sadness, frustration. Those are kind of demonized as bad emotions, but actually it's a signal that something important is there that's making you feel that way. High vibration emotions are the ones that fill you up, and people usually tend to think that they're good. Like, for example, joy, peace, love, optimism, the things that make you feel good. But either high vibration or low vibration, if somebody gets like caught up in it and they just like leave, just getting caught up in those emotions, then either one of them can inhibit somebody from staying grounded in reality. So there's such a full range of emotions that are available to us as human beings and having this human life experience that it would be a shame to demonize any emotion, because they're there to help you. And actually, emotions are just energy in motion, emotion. And you'll notice that if you feel the energy and let it move through you, then it actually doesn't last that long. So part of understanding that there is no good or bad emotion is to know that that's energy inside of you, and to notice it. It's kind of bringing me to the second skill or understanding that's required, is to allow and feel the feelings. So yeah, this energy, you're going to actually feel it in your body as sensations, whether it's butterflies in your stomach or like your throat closing up. uh, there's actual physical sensations that go through the body that a lot of people feel uncomfortable when these feelings come up in the body. And that's actually what makes emotions bad, is when people refuse to feel the feelings and they don't let the energy move through their body, and then it gets stuck. And people carry around this stuck energy like baggage throughout their whole life. So that's why it's important to understand that em- emotions, they're not good or bad. It's just a signal that something is important, and how important it is to allow and feel physical sensations in the body that come from the energy emotions that that you feel, that are natural reactions to the life that you're living. Um, yeah, there's definitely appropriate times for those low vibration emotions, like if you lose a big investment, or if someone you care for gets hurt or passes away. Like, it would be totally inappropriate to go towards those high vibration emotions during these situations. Can you think of an emotion that you've deemed as bad and that you've been trying to avoid? Um, if there is an emotion that you think is bad, identify it and then try to come up with a situation where actually that is the appropriate response. The main point is that you don't want to get stuck in any emotion or any feeling that you have. If you allow it, breathe through it, like I said before, you'll notice that it doesn't actually last that long if you just let the energy move through your body and feel it. So that takes me to the third skill or understanding, which is to get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. The physical sensations in the body that come from emotions, they don't feel comfortable. Whether it's feeling anxiety, your chest is pounding, your heart is pounding out of your chest. Maybe you can feel like sweaty or nervous, um, or you feel embarrassed. These are you feel physical sensations in the body. And if you try to avoid those feelings or suppress them, then they will get stuck in the body. And that's when things go bad. Okay, so emotions themselves, they're not good or bad. There is high vibration that fill you up, or there is low vibration emotions that drain you. But either way, they're necessary and they're part of the full spectrum that life has to offer for us humans and other animals too. But let's just talk about us right now. So getting comfortable feeling uncomfortable, noticing the energy moving through your body, the energy in motion, emotions, it's going to be critical because during relationships, right, people, they have their own mind. And when you come into a disagreement, or you have different ideas about the way that things should go, it could get frustrating. It could get annoying, right? These are the times where if you check in with yourself, pause, breathe, right? This is the self-work that if you start with yourself, then it will naturally come out to the other people around you. We're talking about improving the relationships around you by improving the relationship with yourself first. And the way that you can improve the relationship with yourself is to understand that there's no good or bad emotion. There's high vibration emotions that fill you up, or there's low vibration emotions that drain you. But either way, their emotions are energy in motion. There's signals from your soul that something is important, that you got to pay attention to it. It only becomes bad when you get stuck there and you suppress the emotion, you don't let it move through your body, and then you carry it around like baggage for your whole life. A lot of people do it, and it's because that they're not letting the energy move. And if you notice, if you start to reflect on these things, uh, then you'll notice that the energy, it doesn't last that long. It moves through pretty quickly. If you allow it, if you feel it, if you allow yourself to be uncomfortable, then uh, then you'll see that it doesn't last that long. And Pat says, giving a speech used to give me the most terrifying emotions. Wow. So you said used to. Are you more comfortable doing it now? Have you found ways to get over how terrifying it is? I bet you can feel it in your body, right? The physical sensations in your body. That's number two in this 2 out of 4. Uh, you gotta allow and feel the feelings. Feelings. When I say feelings, it's the physical sensations in the body. You mastered it by giving lots of speeches and presentations. Great. That's cool. You must feel accomplished because you can look back and think, oh, I was so terrified. Now you can do it. You mastered it. Awesome. So we talked about there's no good or bad emotion. They're just signals from the soul that you need to pay attention to. Something's telling you that it's important. The second one is that you got to feel and allow the feelings so that you don't have to carry it around throughout your whole life like baggage. Just feel it. Number 3 is get comfortable being uncomfortable because it is really uncomfortable. There's a lot of this life that's going to be uncomfortable. There's a lot of life that's suffering. And I think that's part of what makes it so great. People actually praised you for how well you did eventually without any apparent fear. I know, isn't that funny? I mean, I wonder how long it took you. Like, what was the timeline for giving lots of speeches and presentations? Um, then you can see what it took for you to overcome that. So the third one is get comfortable feeling uncomfortable, feeling all of the sensations in the body when you come up against something that's unpleasant, something that you don't agree with. You know, there's so much fighting right now in society. You know, we're very divided. So when you hear something that you don't agree with, then sometimes that brings feelings, you know, physical sensations. Sometimes we get offended. Sometimes, we get called names or we call other people names. I don't know. Um, but the thing is, in these situations where we have this instinctual reaction, is to pause, breathe, notice what's going on in your body, feel the feelings. It might be uncomfortable, like you might be filled with so much hate for this person who thinks like these really disgusting ideas. Yeah, but to notice that about yourself, because somebody that you spend a lot of time with, right? There's 2 different types of relationships that people tend to want to improve, which we're talking about now, is the people that we love and the people that we have to spend the most time with. And these people can be, everyone has their own mind. So if they say something that, offends us or startles us, then that's the time where you can pause and breathe and notice what's going on in your body, get comfortable feeling uncomfortable with these feelings. And then the more you give experience, yes, Pat, the more effort, intention that you give something, definitely. I think we can learn anything and improve anything. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be like a Nikola Tesla, but I can try. I can improve my reading comprehension. I could take start taking physics courses. But yeah, I really think that we're capable of so much more sometimes that we give ourselves credit for. They say that we underestimate what can be done in 10 years and we overestimate what can be done in 1 year. So always keep looking for the next challenge. And let me finally get to the fourth step or fourth skill or understanding is to let go of the shoulds. Should, like, oh, he should be this way, or she should be acting this way to me. She should be thinking like this or doing that. Yeah, let go of those shoulds. I mean, I was saying earlier, like in the 20s, when one's 20s, if somebody is acting or thinking or doing something that you really don't like, I mean, in the 20s, I think it's okay to burn some bridges, cut people off because they're usually the people that you were born around. You grew up with them, you are from the same place, and there's really no um, choice of the matter. Well, there's a little bit, but mostly it's the people that you grew up with. And then, like in the 20s, it's like time to explore and find your people. And then now I'm in my 30s. So I would imagine other people also, and anyone can correct me if I'm wrong. By the time somebody's in their 30s and on, it's if you're still around people that are just driving you crazy, then those people are there in your life for a reason, and you can't just cut them out. It's time to do something different. It's time to master skills, improve self-improvement first. I mean, that's what we're talking about here is things that you can practice on yourself before you try to improve the relationships around you, the meaningful ones or the ones you spend the most time with. Because when you encounter a situation that is unpleasant, then you need to know what to do. And because what you are doing up until now has got you to where you are now. And if you want to go to the next level, then these are the four things that you really have to absorb and start to start to practice these things on yourself before you go out to other people. Because how can you expect another person to get comfortable feeling uncomfortable if you can't do that yourself? Oh, Pat, he says the best relationships he has are good because the other person is good at them. Oh, I mean, Pat, you must be very blessed to have those relationships, to have such ease or smooth waters with relationships. So that's really great. um, yeah, so definitely these are ideas to practice on yourself. You got to let go. The fourth one is you got to let go of the shoulds because that is putting um, maybe something unrealistic up to another person. Maybe you're projecting something that you think is necessary from somebody in your past that you're putting on this new person, or you're having unrealistic expectations for yourself, even. Uh, or maybe you are able to meet those expectations, but the people around you aren't. Letting go of those shoulds and letting people be who they are. So let's see how that could be applied to the self, because we're talking about the most important relationship that one has is the relationship to themselves. Um, sorry, my dog is in the room. She's kind of freaking out at her reflection. um, yeah, so there's no good or bad emotion. Pay attention to what causes you to feel. Um, the second step is to allow and feel the feelings that are going through your body, because it's going to happen to other people too. Um, everyone, like, it's so interesting how emotions are universal, they're ubiquitous. Um, Even like for human beings that were living in ancient times, like 40,000 years ago, they experienced joy, they experienced sadness and frustration, and we're still feeling those things now. So it's so interesting. Um, so yeah, definitely if you're able to hold space for yourself and feel like, oh man, I feel like this heaviness in my gut, you know, and just allow that to be there. Notice that, oh man, it feels really uncomfortable. I really don't like it, but let's see what Diane's talking about here. Just feel the feelings. You're going to notice that it doesn't last very long and it goes away shortly. And then you can have another data point. And then once you are familiar with doing that for yourself, then you'll start to notice other people too. Like, oh, it looks like she's feeling something in her body. I did distinguish between emotions and feelings. Emotions, I think, are what people tend to think as feelings, like sadness or anger. But more specifically, emotions, I'm talking about it like it's energy in motion, um, which kind of describes why it moves through you and it doesn't last that long because it's moving, it's in motion. Feelings are physical sensations in the body, whether it's like a headache or sometimes when people feel embarrassed. Maybe you felt it when you were doing your speeches or presentations. You could feel like your throat closing up. Like that is a feeling, or butterflies in the stomach, or like my ears get hot sometimes when I get embarrassed. Those are feelings, physical sensations in the body. Um, that can be quite uncomfortable. I know like life isn't always perfect. It's not all sunshine. It's not only joy and peace. There's a whole spectrum. And uh, yeah, so I mean, I think sometimes those low vibration emotions like regret or guilt or despair, they become bad when somebody gets stuck in there. Um, but there are some situations in life where they are the appropriate response. Like if you get lied to and then you find out, like that doesn't feel good. Um, and so to notice what's going on in the self, if you're able to do that, then when you come into a confrontation with somebody else that you love or somebody that you're spending a lot of time around, like at work or something, then you'll be able to handle that situation in a much better manner, like way more maturely and intelligently, because you have practiced these skills with yourself. Whenever something disturbs your natural rhythm, it's like, oh, okay, so there's no good or bad emotion. So what is my soul telling me? Like imagine if somebody cuts you off on the freeway. You're like, you get pissed. Like and then all sorts of like visions go through your head, like, oh, I wish that person would like get in an accident or something. Like you just start like running away with these negative thoughts. Like that's when it kind of becomes bad. But you can notice like, oh, that didn't feel good. So what am I supposed to understand from that? What is my soul trying to tell me? Oh, maybe I don't like it when people are impatient, or I don't like it when people cut. Like there's a value there that you can add to your own understanding of yourself. Yes, I actually love driving. Pat says I'm a serious driver. I am a very serious driver. Oh, but I don't. Uh, yeah, I don't really have road rage. I know a lot of people do though. So, um, yeah, you want to practice um, understanding that there's no good or bad emotion. You want to allow and feel the feelings, the physical sensations in your body. Right. And yeah, and I mean, it's easy to just talk about it right now and think like, oh yeah, that makes sense, or oh yeah, okay, I could try that. But when you get to that moment, it can just fly by, and then you might realize afterwards like, oh yeah, oops, I was supposed to like feel the feelings. And actually, they were really uncomfortable. Thinking back, they were really uncomfortable, and I didn't want to. And that's what I'm saying. So, this self work is going to take a lot of practice, a lot of pausing, self inhibition, self reflection. And I want to encourage you to try these skills because it will make such a big difference in your life with the relationships around you. For feeling comfortable with discomfort, can you think about another time where you felt really uncomfortable? And if you are open to it, share it in the chat. I know, Pat, you shared that you got really uncomfortable giving speeches and presentations. Um, yeah, try to think about another moment where you feel uncomfortable so that we can pre-plan. You can think of a situation where you're going to encounter in the future or near future that you can practice this. If you're going to get uncomfortable. Pat is sharing that his kittens contending with their changing emotions is good training. Watching them. Yeah, kittens are such a trip. I have two of them right now. We're fostering, and their nails are so sharp. One was playing cliffhanger on my leg earlier. Yeah, so it's always good to anticipate situations that you're going to be able to use these because not only is this supposed to be like just listening passively, like really you can actively engage with this topic that we're talking about today. How about shoulds? Letting go of shoulds. And what is one should that you're holding on yourself that you can let go of? Like, it's not going to happen. Just accept what's going on. Let go of the should. Just let go of the should. Like, I should be more clean in my house. I should clean way more. I should have a spotless home 24/7. I'm really having a hard time letting go of that because one of my roommates is a very she has very high standards, and I'm just like, oh, I should be like that. Like looking at her, I should be like that. But I really want to too. I really want to be clean and organized. So I think that's why that should is like hard for me to let go of that. But thinking about thinking about like letting go of that should, like I should, I don't know if I want to, but see, there's so many shoulds, like, and that are probably unconscious too, that if you could think of a should that you're holding on yourself that you can let go of right now, let's try it. And the concept of letting go and surrender is really a fascinating topic because there's we can live intentionally with the high performance method and use our higher mind and plan things out and execute them. go for a goal, that's one way of living. And another way is to just allow what comes into your life through synchronicity or like the what is that? The law of attraction is just to allow things to happen. And part of that is to let go of what you think should happen. And when you let go of one thing, actually, it turns out you're letting go of a cascade of items. Like, for example, right, Pat says that there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. Uh, Thomas Sowell, I heard that from Thomas Sowell. Uh, what an enlightening quote. Um, yeah. So if I let go of the idea that I should be clean and organized, then it's like I'm also having to let go of the idea that my house should be clean or organized 24/7. I mean, there's one action is always going to have a series of reactions. So to let go of all of the little things that surround the big should could also help as well. Uh, so letting go of shoulds, like maybe unrealistic expectations that came from somebody else, from somebody you grew up with, a parent maybe, or society, is saying that people should be a certain way or other. Um, yeah. Can you think of a should that you can let go of that you're holding on to for somebody else? And so there's no good or bad emotion. Feel and allow the feelings, the physical sensations in the body. Get comfortable feeling uncomfortable and let go of shoulds. Those are the four ideas. Patrick says, showing up on time. Is that a should that you want to let go of? Oh, so you think you should show up on time? Think about it. Yeah. Contemplate if that's a should that you can let go of and how that would affect your life and the life of you and Sharon. Good for you, Pat. You learned not to care so much about it. Sounds like you've done some work. So good job. Um, which one of these four skills slash understandings do you think will be the most difficult, or do you think that you would want to work on next in the coming days or weeks as you have the heart to try to improve the relationships around you? And just to close up, yeah, I think I just summarized. I think I just summarized what we talked about today. As a person who feels like they have the agency and the control over their own life to change the world around them, and a person who wants to improve the relationships that are meaningful and that I spend the most time with. Um, if you are that kind of person too, then this this live was for you, and it's to cover four skills or understandings that you can practice on yourself, the MVP of your own life, of your life story, the game of life, because you need to practice them on yourself first before, so you can really understand them before you go out and use these ideas in your interactions with others. It's going to be really difficult to hold somebody else, like tell them, hey, it looks like you're feeling uncomfortable. Try to feel comfortable getting uncomfortable. Like you got to try that with yourself first. Like really. So the four are: there's no good or bad emotion. There's only high vibration and low vibration. High vibration fills you up, low vibration drains you. Both of them are appropriate in certain situations. It's getting stuck there, though, that makes them good or bad. And because energy and motion, they move through your life and your body. And if you suppress it, avoid it, medicate, self medicate, so that you don't feel the energy moving through you, then it gets stuck, and then that gets carried around like baggage throughout your whole life, until you do the work and release that. So there's no good or bad emotion, and with that comes physical sensations in the body. That's number two: is feel and allow these feelings. Um, the third one is to get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. This is definitely important when situations are less than ideal. That's when the feelings arise. That's when the energy, you can feel the energy come up. And what are you going to do with that energy and the feelings? Like, are you going to run away from them or avoid them because they feel uncomfortable? This is a message to you telling you to face them, face the feelings and discomfort, and feel it. Just sit with it. Oh man, this feels uncomfortable. Whoa, I'm alive. You can know that you're alive because you can feel it. And that is a blessing, even though it's uncomfortable. It's part of life. Um, so get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. That is the third one. And the last one is to let go of any shoulds. Should. Because life is messy, life is imperfect, and holding too many shoulds above your own head or the heads of the people around you, it can really hurt you and get you stuck, keep you stuck. Mm, yeah, so thank you so much for joining me in Diane's Corner today, when you could have been doing anything else in this wonderful life. I appreciate you. I hope you gained something out of it. And let me know in the comments if something resonated with you or stood out to you. And then I will do this again, hopefully next week. Thank you so much. Bye. Oh, this is the first episode, if it's not obvious.